Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, welcome to my channel. My name is Maaike. Today I am going to be showing you my cookbook collection because I love to cook. That's something you may not know about me, but that's what I like to do. And I like to try out new things, and whenever I want to try out new things, I like to go to a cookbook to help me out, to just get some inspiration or to try new things. I hardly ever stick to an actual recipe, I do have to say. So these cookbooks that I have here, I've gathered over the past couple of years. Some of these I've had for a very long time. Yeah, whenever I need some inspiration on what I could eat, I tend to go to this part of my book collection. And I think it's something very particular, very specific. I'm not sure if anyone really cares. So let me start off with my Jamie Oliver things. I've got a couple of his cookbooks. I tend to buy most of my cookbooks in the UK, like online, because A, they are a lot cheaper than they are over here. Plus, I also find the recipes often make a lot more sense in English because the translations of cookbooks aren't always the best, I find. That being said though, sometimes I can just get a better deal if I buy them in the Netherlands, and then I do have Dutch ones, which is why a couple of these are in Dutch, but I have his 5 ingredients, which is just really quick and easy recipes that only contain 5 ingredients. He does feature quite a lot of like condiments and like pastes and things to get to flavor in. But if you want to go for something super basic and that you can very easily make after a work day, then this is a pretty good one. So a lot of my cookbooks are actually tabbed, and the reason for that is because I like to go through them and find the recipes that appeal to me the most, so that when I get around to cooking with them, I can just very easily go to the tab and I don't have to browse the entire cookbook. Then one that I have in Dutch is Veg, which I think is the same title in English. And this is all vegetarian cookbook. I got this as my Christmas gift from work this past Christmas, so that's why this is in Dutch. I haven't made anything with it yet. That's also why it's not tabbed yet, because this is one of the newer ones and I haven't had the time yet to browse it to find what I would want to make for it, so I haven't used it yet. And then my final one is one that's much older, and this I believe is called At Home with Jamie in English, and this is all like English, like British recipes. And I just think that's a good one to have. So if I want to know how to make scones or anything like that, I have a cookbook that sees all my needs. If I want to know how to make shepherd's pie, it's in this one. So a bit of like hearty British cooking, that's all in this one. And talking about like basics, it's good to like just know how to do certain things. So a friend of mine actually recommended this book to me years ago, which I've also had for years. It's a Dutch one, which is called Cookbook. And this is just a basic cookbook. As you can see, I haven't tabbed a lot, but this just has like, if you just want to know how to make an hollandaise sauce, this is the book I can go to. So this has all the like French, Dutch cooking staples. Some of the recipes are very short, but it also has a lot of like information on ingredients with pictures and just like all the varieties of things there are. It even has like an entire chapter, I believe, on edible flowers. Like, if you just want to know like basic cooking techniques, this is the book that I would recommend. I'm not sure if it's still available, but getting yourself like a basic cookbook that has all your basics is a good one. I don't really use this for recipes, but if I want to know how to do something, at least I have one. Then something I just recently got into, let me just hold up both of them, is Ottolenghi. And this is of course a huge cooking hype. I first bought Simple, and because I like the recipes in it so much, I now also own Plenty More, which I believe the first one of this is called Plenty, and that's like an all vegetarian cookbook that he did. And then he did this one as like a follow-up. So I only got the follow-up because that had more interesting recipes I found. This one, Simple, I made a couple of things from it the other week, and the flavors were so on point. That's the one thing, like I always struggle with flavors, so I like using cookbooks for flavors or to know how to do things. That's when I go to cookbooks mostly. So yeah, these are really nice ones, and especially this book, it has more like a Mediterranean, like Middle Eastern kind of vibe to it. So again, when it comes to like trying different flavors and different combinations, I find that these two really offer me something differently that I could never come up with myself. I also have some cookbooks to like help me with like, well, not necessarily healthier eating, But again, you don't know this about me, but a few years ago, I had some issue with my like my bowels and things like that, and it wasn't pretty. And so I really needed to find foods that I could actually eat that wouldn't upset my stomach too much. And then I really got into this whole like trying different grains and trying different recipes, and I really found that you can very easily make your eating a lot healthier. So that's why I have quite a few like vegan, like healthy kind of cookbooks as well. So the first two I want to share are both by Madeline Shaw. I bought these because the Anna edit kept raving about them. It's Ready Steady Glow, I think was the first one, and Get the Glow. So she sort of believes that, at least this lady believes that, through eating you can easily get more healthier, or more healthy I should say. And yeah, there are a couple of recipes in here that I like, but a lot of it is also that like Instagram kind of food stuff. So for me, it's not super inspiring, especially because I have a couple of these like healthier, like staple recipes already in my arsenal. But it's good to have something to go back to and get some different takes on recipes that I already know how to do. I also wanted to try some more like vegetarian cooking as well. So I bought Anna Jones's The Modern Cook's Year. This is a very comprehensive cookbook to know like what's in season and trying to stick to like seasonal ingredients as well. It is a little bit more of a difficult one to use, I find, because not all of the recipes come with pictures, and I'm a very visual person, so if I see a picture I'm like, oh, that sounds good. However, I did make a couple of things from this already, and I made this peach and cardamom tart from it that was absolutely divine. This again has a lot of like healthier takes on recipes that you may already be familiar with. So I feel that this one also sort of fits into the same category as the Madeline Shaw ones, though I feel that this is much more comprehensive. It's a lot more challenging. There's a lot more to this one than to the other recipes, I feel like. And I had been really wanting to try some more like Asian and Indian food as well. So I bought Mira Soja's Fresh India and East. I mainly found her because I spotted this book in my local bookstore, and I was like, ooh, and this is all vegan Asian recipes, and this is from like all around like the Eastern continent. It says Bangalore to Beijing, whereas this is like truly like Indian, and it's also all vegetarian in here, I believe. I think a lot of the recipes in here are vegan too. I think she has another one like with like Indian recipes, but I just thought I would try these. I've already made a few things from both of these, and they were absolutely divine. I'm not necessarily vegetarian or vegan per se. It's just that's what I like to explore a lot when I'm trying to cook new recipes. And then another tandem, you could say. So I again spotted these books at my local bookstore and thought those look nice, but I wanted to own them in English, so I ended up getting them online. And those are The Green Kitchen and The Green Kitchen at Home. My favorite one definitely has to be The Green Kitchen at Home. I've already been told by a friend of mine that every recipe in this book is good. So far, the few ones that I've made from it are absolutely divine. In this one, I found quite a few that I like too, but fewer. But these are just really great daily recipes, again, more vegetarian based as well, because I just really like to cook vegetarian food. I don't know why, I just do. All right, and then a couple of random things here as well, where I'm not even sure where some things come from, as well as like super healthy things. But let's just start with something that's definitely not healthy. I have the Cake Book by Cupcake Gemma. She used to be part of the Jamie Oliver YouTube channel, but now she also, like, she's been doing her own thing for a very long time. But when she was cooperating with him, she did release this cookbook with all different kinds of cupcakes recipes. And I don't really necessarily make a lot of cupcakes, but she has a lot of like recipes in this as well for like goos and buttercreams and things like that you can use when you are baking. So that's why I like to keep this one on hand. You will see I don't have a lot of cookbooks for baking because I tend to bake very particular things, which you will see where those are coming from in a minute. Then this is one that I bought not too long ago. I haven't made much from it yet, but it's Veggie, which is the small version of the larger one, which I think is called Veg. This is River Cottage by Hugh Fernley Whittenstall. This is a very famous vegetarian cookbook that's been around for years. And this is the baby version that was super affordable on sale. And I thought, that can be fun. I love trying out vegetarian recipes, as you know by now, so I thought this could give me even more options. Then I have this book, which is called Power Snacks. So I always struggle, at least that's what I was finding when I was going through this whole food exploration thing, to really come up with good snacks that I could take with me to work. And so I randomly spotted this at a random bookstore when I was in the UK with a friend, and I decided to pick it up. I haven't made much from this, to be quite honest, because not all of it is very suitable to take with you to work. That's one of the things I find very often, that, you know, with snacks, you know, if you keep them in the fridge, they stay okay, but if you want to carry them around, it can be a bit more difficult. But yeah, this has some good recipes. I also have a smoothie book. Then again, I tend to just make smoothies and hope for the best. I don't really go with recipes. I find smoothie recipes to be very tedious because it will ask for like 3/3 cup of berries, and then you're always left with like 3 berries that you can't put in your smoothie to get the balance just right. Whereas I just tend to like chuck all the fruit and veg into a blender and add a liquid, and then I'm done. Like, as long as it blends, I'm usually happy. But yeah, green smoothies can be a bit challenging because to get them appetizing enough, it can be good to have a recipe around. I do have to say that I don't think I've ever made one from this book to begin with. But yeah, this one I do have around just in case I need a bit of inspiration for a new flavor, but I tend to have my favorites and I reach for those. This is a book that is not tabbed, but I have already made stuff from it. I was gifted this during my housewarming when I moved into this place a few years ago, and my aunt was actually like, why do you want a cookbook for? I was like, I love cookbooks, I love them for inspiration. And this is also like Mediterranean / Indian, like Middle Eastern kind of recipes a lot. I don't know who this person is, I don't know where this came from, I just know that it has a really good dal recipe, because I've tried making dal with this for the first time, but I now have that other like Indian cookbook, so there are a couple of dals in there that I would like to make as well. But yeah, this has some good recipes too, so I want to keep it around. And then I have some like super healthy things. I used to, back in the day when I went through this whole like food journey, you could say, I was really following a couple of like bloggers and people who then ended up releasing cookbooks. So I ended up buying a few of those throughout the years. So I have Angela Liddon's Oh She Glows. This is vegan recipes. I think I made a couple of things from her website throughout the years, and I just thought it would be good to have a couple of her recipes like bundled all together. So I did make a couple of things from it like 4 or 5 years ago, but I haven't used it much since. And then another blogger, food blogger that I used to follow a lot was Megan Gilmore from The Detoxinista. And she did 2 books. The No Excuses Detox, I think, was her second one. And this is the first one, Everyday Detox. I still make her vegan macaroni and cheese. I still make her vegan enchiladas, like almost like quite regularly. And some of those recipes are actually also in these 2 books. So now I don't have to like dwiddle around with my phone. I can just grab the book. Another reason why I love cookbooks is that they don't go black when your hands are dirty and you're like, okay, what was the next step in the recipe? It's just a bit handier for me. So these 2 are really great ones. As you can see, lots of tabs. I've made so many of her recipes over the years, and there's a lot that I also have printed off that aren't in these books. And then another food blogger that I used to follow quite a bit, and which is why I have 3 of her books, is Ella Woodward from Deliciously Ella. So I have her first book, her second book, as well as her third book. I believe this is all like no, this is the plant-based one, this is the vegan one, so that's a bit different from the other 2. The other ones are still like mainly vegetarian, I believe, as well, plus a lot of like foods that substitute things. So this is very similar to like the Madeline Shaw one, but I found more recipes in her books that I really liked, that I felt really were a different take. I already made one of her crumbles. I especially like these like substitute cookbooks for like baking things, because it's just good to have like a healthier version of a crumble that you can then have as breakfast. That's what I love these books for. And I just have a couple of things left. I have 2 very ancient ones that I think my mom got me or gave me when I first moved out. So I have a cookbook for students, which is all like super cheap recipes. I haven't made much from it because it's not the healthiest. And then I have this vegetarian cookbook that my mom had lying around. And again, I've made 1 or 2 things from it over the years. But yeah, these have been in my possession for like more than a decade. But now, for the most important part, apart from like magazines that I pick up from supermarkets over the years, I have this. And this is a binder with recipes. And these are all either printed off from the web, either they are handwritten. This is probably the cookbook that I use the most. I have all these fancy ones behind me, but the cookbook I reach for the most is one that I have simply compiled myself over the years. I made a little index for it so I can easily find stuff, but this is like my mom's applesauce recipe. My mom's apple pie is in here. My granddad's rabbit recipe, like that he made every Christmas. Like, this is a lot of family recipes as well as like things that I just like to make, which is why I use this so much. It has a couple of the printed off recipes from Detoxinista. It has my favorite recipe for cheesecake. It has sticky toffee pudding. Like, it has all these like favorite recipes that I've gathered over the years. So whenever I make stuff, I go to this binder more than I do all these fancy ones, which is why I'm sort of now, I'm like the past few months, I've been really trying to make an effort to like pick a cookbook like every week before I go grocery shopping, and then just see, okay, I'm gonna make this thing this week, just to get through all of them and to really know what each cookbook has to offer. So that's something I'm probably going to be doing for the rest of the year. But yeah, just to get out of the rut of always reaching for the same thing, because these are things I actually like, you know, that sort of thing. Like, I just know that everything in this works. It just does. That being said, those are all the cookbooks that I have in my possession. Let me know in a comment down below what your favorite cookbook is. I don't have a lot of space left anymore, so I definitely don't think I will be getting anything soon. I currently am not eyeing up any more cookbooks, but I'm always willing to try other things. So if you do have any suggestions, let me know. And thank you very much for watching this video as well. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more by me. I make 3 new videos a week, so I hope to see you in my next video. Bye-bye!